regret. Regret is one of the stickiest, nastiest, darkest, toughest emotions to work with. Regret is wishing that you had done something in the past and then judging yourself like crazy for it. And it's hard to work with. This is a tough one. And I've had to work through this emotion of regret at times. I've helped other people do that. I want to help you do that today. The most interesting thing about regret is that we are looking at the past, wishing we had planted that tree 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 6 months ago, whatever it might have been, and beating ourselves up and taking ourselves out and shredding ourselves for not doing that. Going, man, I really wish I had done that, or I had gone that direction, or I had made this thing happen. And to be honest, dead honest, there could have been some fear in the past that really stopped you from doing what you wanted to do. You knew in your intuition that you had to do something, and it was fear that stopped you. And that's part of your human journey. To deeply accept that working through fear and learning how to release yourself from fear is part of your journey, is also part of this healing process of regret. To accept that, to allow space for that. It doesn't matter how old you were, to be able to go, I'm still learning, I'm still going through these things, is one of the ways to work through regret. But here's the most powerful way to work through regret. Like I said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant that tree is today. All of these things that you see in your mind that you might be even beating yourself up over, or regretting, or self-hating, or all of these things, right? These visions, these dreams, they still exist for a reason. Yes, other ones might have been a little bit time-oriented, but now that you are here and we are stepping out of victim mentality and taking 100% responsibility for our lives, what are these things that we have regretted that we haven't actually done yet? I want you to take out a piece of paper. I want you to write them down, all of them, all of these dreams, all of these goals, all of these ambitions that you haven't done yet. I want you to write them down. And here's where the powerful part of the practice comes in. To the best of your ability, I want you to get as close as you can to the original intention of, I want to make this thing happen, and here's how. You might be older, you might be wiser, you might be more skilled now, you might be more knowledgeable now. There's many, many things that you are now that you weren't back then. And yes, you might have wanted it back then, but there's a reason why it didn't happen back then for you. But now, as you are looking back on that thing, how can you step up and make that thing happen and live in that story of the comeback, right? The underdog. I'm going to make a comeback. I'm going to take this thing that has eluded me for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, doesn't matter how long. I'm going to take that thing and I'm going to make it happen no matter what, because you don't want to live at the end of your life in regret. Regret that you never went for it, or regret that you went for it once and quit. As long as there is breath in your lungs, you can still start that journey. It doesn't matter. If it's health and fitness, go for it. If it's reading books, being knowledgeable, being wise, starting a YouTube channel, getting in shape, finding a good relationship, even if you're 80, go for it. Because if you don't go for it, when you reach the end of the ride, you will be in a place of regret. And I've been around some old people, very close to me, who I've seen that regret, that they can't go for it anymore, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. I don't want you to live in that space. I don't want that to be the story for you. But the only person that controls that is you. That's it. You're the only one that has control over the story of, you know what, I just never went for it because I was in fear, or I went for it as many times as I possibly could, and even if it didn't work out for me, at least I get to hold my head up high and say, I went for it. I tried. I went for it, and I failed a billion times, and you know what? If it wasn't in the cards for me this lifetime, okay, but at least I can say I went for it. But you don't want to sit in a place of not trying. So whatever that vision is for you, whatever that goal is for you, even if it's from a long time ago in the past, bring it back in, right? Honor it, don't judge it, accept it, bring it back in. How can I, now that I am here, plant this in different soil? The soil might have changed, but the dream is still there, and it's still there for a reason for you. And all you have to do is bring it back in, honor it, and believe in it this time, and really go for it and structure your life to make that thing work. Take all the lessons that we have in this group, apply them to it, figure out how to make it happen, and I will tell you this. That thing that you have been beating yourself up over for such a long time and regretting and shredding yourself, like I said, the moment you make that thing happen will be one of the greatest redeeming moments of your life, and you will never forget it. I promise you that. You will never forget making the very thing happen that you regretted, that you just hated yourself, that you didn't do it, and you stepped out of judgment and you brought it back in and you honored it again and you made it happen. So make yourself proud. Regret is toxic. It is painful. It is dark. The way that you get that out of your system is to realign yourself with your integrity, realign yourself with your dream, and go all in on it, baby, and just make that thing happen. And if you need some help from me, drop it down in the comment section. I will help you as much as I can. I want to have so many stories in this group of people who have turned it around, who have stepped out of regret and made it happen. All right, let's go.